So I am Kraig Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of Jewish Family Service of the Desert. What do I do in a typical day? Meetings, 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 and more meetings. I have case management meetings twice a week, and it's kind of like grand rounds where we're going over difficult client cases. We're sharing emerging information. If we find out information about a new program, new application, anything. So we meet twice a week, and for about an hour, hour and a half, and we're discussing those difficult clients. It's also an opportunity for us to really debrief and laugh and tell a joke, because the case managers are dealing with very difficult cases. Case managers will help clients who call us and ask for help for anything other than counseling. In their interviews with clients, they're often discovering that the common rule is the clients don't have much of anything and they need a whole heck of a lot of support. And so having to hear those stories day after day is very difficult, as you can imagine. So we meet twice a week and go over those cases and debrief and lean on each other. We also have a weekly grants meeting. As a 501c3, grant income is one of the three sources of income for our agency, and it's about a third of our income. So it's a very important aspect of what I do. And so obviously it is seeking those dollars that are for salaries and capacity, but also pass-through dollars. JFS offers emergency financial assistance for those needing help with necessities such as overdue rent, overdue utilities, food, and medications. And so we're making sure that we have money available for the community when they reach out to us and they have a need. We're almost always daily looking for granting opportunities, writing reports, writing applications, submitting applications, reports, etc. So I'm very busy with the grants. We also have a front office team meeting twice a week. So the front office team meets twice a week to discuss. For me, it is making sure that we are converting those referrals into clients and hearing any issues related to our inability to convert those referrals quickly. So if we're having issues with our electronic health record, if we're having issues communicating via email with clients, it's often problem solving via those front office meetings. So yeah, we're always looking for the monies, making sure we're converting those referrals and helping to deal with any obstacles that our front office team is dealing with. We've had some turnover in the front office, and so helping to fill in, what can I do to help get us through a hump type of thing. And then I'm often meeting with my development director. What are we talking about in the way of development? Philanthropic giving is, again, one of the three sources. So for JFS, it is philanthropic giving, grants, and reimbursement for our counseling services. So that's unusual for us, but many service providers that don't offer counseling don't have that third source of income. It's grants and philanthropic giving almost exclusively. So for us, though, it's also that reimbursement. But meeting with our development director, making sure that she is armed with all the information she needs to sell our agency to those donors and potential donors. It is meeting with donors and potential donors, meeting with potential patrons, meeting with our board members who have a friend that they want us to meet, etc. So meetings is what I'm busy with. Skills, I really think it's two primary skills, motivation and communication. Especially with COVID. Motivation has been at the forefront of what I am trying to do on a daily basis. And it really is creating an environment that people want to work in, that people are wanting to go to work every day because, for no other reason, because of the environment that we're creating, that it is a welcoming, kind, empathetic, patient, understanding environment. And so that motivation and that communication is, I think, the most important skills that I bring. And the communication really is across the board, staff, board, the community, those patrons, potential patrons, etc. But then also prognostication. What do I think is going to happen next month, 6 months, next year, 5 years? What does that mean to the agency? What does that mean to our stakeholders, both our clients and our patrons? What does that mean to our partners, our collaborators? So a lot of it is prognostication, taking a look at what's happening in the community, taking a look at what's happening in the world, and how does that translate then to daily operations at JFS? So I believe it's motivation, communication, and prognostication. Now, where did I go to college? I went to Claremont McKenna. It was an interesting choice for me. I went to Claremont McKenna College. I have a degree in biology. Again, I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. I figured I had broken so many of my own bones over the years that I wanted to help people who were dealing with the broken bones that I was dealing with growing up and playing a bunch of sports. I broke my leg pretty significantly my freshman year. I had the doctors say, you will never walk without a limp and you will never play baseball again. And so my reason for being really became proving him wrong. And so I was, it was all about the game and all about baseball. But I got the degree, got out of there with the degree. It was a very interesting time at Claremont. I'm glad I went there. I don't really use the biology much. You didn't hear me mention anything about biology and the skills and what I do on a daily basis. But a lot of what I learn in the labs, a lot of what I learned playing sports, the notion of being on a team, the notion of giving yourself to reach a goal, to reach a commonly desired end. I think those skills are really translatable to what I do on a daily basis. I'm also, though, a graduate of the UCR certificate course on nonprofit association management. It's a 10-month course. If you've not heard of it, I would suggest learning it. I find it very valuable and would recommend, if you're interested at all in the nonprofit route, that is a valuable course to take. I'm also a graduate of the Disney Institute. I worked at the Annenberg Center for Health Sciences at Eisenhower. One of our board members came into the ER and had a very unpleasant experience, and she had a decision to make: pull her millions of dollars of support for the hospital, or put millions of dollars in support in training in the hospital. So I was part of the design team that went out to Disney to train. We put together the curriculum, and there were 10 of us that led the 2,000 plus employees in the customer care training. That led to the hospitals getting the first of their solution top 100 hospital in the country designation. So, and it really, if you think about it, regardless of what hospital you go to, you assume you're going to get at least adequate clinical care. Everyone assumes you're going to get at least adequate clinical care. What's the difference? How you're treated. Are you treated like a person, or are you treated like a case number? So that we focused on treating people the way we want to be treated, live by the golden rule. It's not an unusual belief to understand that if you live by the golden rule, generally things work out well for you. So the Disney Institute has been very helpful. Also, Meeting Professionals International, my first boss was on their board, so I learned how to plan meetings from a pro, and that has paid off dividends. Ongoing education is the key. Learn something new every day. And I would encourage you, I tell my son, stay in school as long as you can, get your bachelor's, get your master's, continue on. You start getting a master's, you start getting a PhD, you will have a career, and it will be a meaningful one, and you will be happy, I believe. I've had other jobs. I started in behavioral health with STARS Behavioral Health. They hired me to put on what was called an unconvention, to discuss services for the transitional age youth population. And that led to my taking on a position here at JFS. I loved my work at STARS. We lost, though. We were a county contractor, and that's an interesting position to be in. Those of us who have experience being a county contractor and fighting for your professional life every 3 years. I didn't like that experience, and I'm glad I landed at JFS where we're less reliant on those county contracts. But I started in behavioral health with STARS. And they were a fantastic agency, still are. What I love most about my job, really, I believe it is the opportunity to provide hope to people who lack it otherwise. They don't have it otherwise. Our clients don't have it. Through our services, they often leave with it. And then I get to hear the thank yous. I get to see the testimonials, and I get to often have the interviews with clients. Very seldom am I leaving those interviews with a dry eye. I will tell you that I was raised to never, ever show your emotion. My father raised me to never, ever show your emotion. I cry an awful lot now, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I think if I'm crying every day and laughing every day, I think that's a pretty good day, running yourself through the emotions. But we offer hope. We're also very relevant. And so my position offers me meaning. I've never wanted to be rich, or else I wouldn't work for an association. I wanted to be meaningful. I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to have my son look at what I do and be proud of his old man. So really, that's what it's about for me. It's an opportunity to give back to the community. Challenges, lots of them. Protecting and growing our sources of income, certainly. Since a lot of income is provided via the philanthropic givers, establishing and maintaining those relationships with individuals. And as you can imagine, not all of them are very friendly. You know, I mean, you run the gamut of very friendly and not very friendly and everything in the middle. But it's helping them understand that their support of our agency helps them reach their philanthropic goals. We have something to offer. All of us, by the way, have something to offer those people who want to give philanthropically. We help them reach their goals. So don't feel as if you have nothing to offer those with all sorts of assets and resources. We help them realize their goals as well. And I think dealing with the feeling that 21 other people rely on me for their job, that's stressful. It is important to be able to forget about work for a brief period of time. And so I would encourage you to find that hobby, find whatever it is you love that allows you to continue to support the community, because what you're embarking on is not for the faint of heart. Mental health is very, very difficult, but it is extraordinarily meaningful and noble. I thank you for doing that.